Hi, everybody. Well, I'm back in my classroom, not in my office. And while everyone else is at specials today, I'm going to do lesson 2 with you for Washed Up so that you have me again reading the story to you. For lesson 2, we're going to focus today on comparing and contrasting elements in the text, which means we're going to really look at that 3-column chart and how those characters are similar and how they are different. We're not doing anything like a Venn diagram just yet, but I want you to have to understand the similarities between the characters and the differences between the characters. How are their struggles the same? How are they different? How is their environment the same? How is it different? And it kind of goes back to setting as well. And the setting is going to be very important for some of the challenges that they face. So think about all of that during today's reading. And this is lesson 2 for Washed Up. So we're actually going to finish chapter 1. So I'm going to go, we left off on page 11. I'm going to go to page 12. So if you'll join me there, that would be great. It was deathly silent as the skipper cut the engine, letting the boat glide gently into the mangrove swamp. That would be home to the Garcias for the next 3 weeks. Mr. Garcia gazed at the muddy sludge around him, his jaw twitching. "It'll be okay, Papa," lied Gabriella as she surveyed the murky water, so shallow that the gnarled roots of the trees snaked above the waterline like the tangled hair of Medusa. It couldn't be easy for Mr. Garcia. He had never been the adventurous type. He was happy working the same job for 20 years, living in the same house, and doing a pretty good job of raising his daughter on his own. That is, until the company he worked for suddenly shut down and he lost his job. Then a new reality series called Washed Up asked for volunteers, and Gabriella's father did the unthinkable. He applied. "The tide will come in soon," said Gabriella, squinting at the solid wall of roots stretching out in front of them. "So we'd better find higher ground." Page 14. Meanwhile, the Lus were doing some climbing of their own. The chopper had dropped them off next to a steep mountain slope. Shen and May were as nimble as mountain goats. But Mr. and Mrs. Lu kept stopping to wave at the cameras and to catch their breath. May shivered. The wind was vicious above the tree line. Far above them loomed the snow-covered volcano. Right now, it was hard to imagine this was once the site of a powerful eruption, spewing red-hot lava for miles around. "There's not enough wood here to build both a fire and a shelter," said Shen. The Lu siblings had seen enough survival shows to know that they would need both soon. May glanced up. The sun would go down over the mountain in a few hours. "We'll head downhill first thing tomorrow, to where the tree cover thickens," she said. "That's fine," said Mr. Lu. "Now blow a kiss to the camera." Page 16. Closer to sea level, Oliver Walpole hurried his mother past the scorpions scuttling across the forest floor. His mother's island euphoria would give way to utter panic if she saw any of those nasties. "It's marvelous, isn't it?" she exclaimed, oblivious. Suffocating would have been a better word to describe it, Oliver thought. It was hotter here than on the beach, even though only a chink of greenish light pierced the forest canopy. "Here, let me wash that," Mrs. Walpole screeched, and before Oliver could stop her, Mrs. Walpole had spilled half of their thermos of water on the small fruit he had just picked up. "You shouldn't have done that, Mom," he protested a little loudly. His heart sank. Their water rations were down to half already. Many miles away, Barry Blue, in an animal print dress now, was speaking to the cameras again. "Don't they look like they're having so much fun?" she purred. "Things always start out that way." And then a sharp glint came to her eyes as she said, "But their rations will soon run out. And daylight too, and then darkness, hunger, and thirst will set in." "Here," she tittered, "and that's when the real fun begins, dear viewers. It only gets better or worse. And that's the end of our chapter. So hopefully you heard some things in there that you found were similar to the characters, and things that were different with the characters, and things that you could write on your chart for each one of the families. So yesterday you started the chart for the 3 families. I want you to go back in today and finish the chart so that you have pretty much filled up the text boxes and are ready to turn that chart in for me today. Let me know if you have any questions. Please feel free to email me, and I will talk to you guys soon. I miss you. Have a great day.